Well, in breaking news this morning, Australia Post is increasing the cost of sending parcels both domestically and internationally, in some cases by significant amounts for their customers. The National Postal Service has just announced the hikes as part of its annual price determinations. It says the cost of sending a parcel will increase by almost 5% on average from July 1 for retail customers. Now, that is for both standard express and delivery rates. Now, international delivery is also going up by an average of 3.75%. This won't just impact retail customers who need to send packages, but also business customers like online retailers. Now, joining me on this is Blundy, the owner of a local online lingerie retailer, Curvy. Wes, how are you doing this morning? You just got that email.
Hi, Emilia. Great to be here, but yeah, not great news from Australia Post for us.
How did you feel getting that email just an hour or so ago?
I think it's really tough. We're a small business, and I think it's hard to, I suppose, understand the justification of the 5% general rate increase, because I think the challenge that we have is there's actually a compound effect. Australia Post already has a fuel surcharge, which has skyrocketed recently to 12%, and that's applied on top of our base rates. So if our base rates are going up by 18%, the 12% then compounds on top of that higher base rate. So I think for us, we're looking at about 18% on top of our freight rates. The bit I suppose I'd love to understand is if the fuel surcharge is already recouping the cost for Australia Post on the extra fuel cost, what's the justification for the general rate increase? It feels almost as if there's double dipping going on. And I think the impact for us is we just want to protect our customers and try and absorb these costs. We're working really hard to find savings in our business so that we don't need to pass these cost rises on, but it's really tough.
So, Wes, you're correct. Australia Post does have its fuel surcharge for customers like you set at 19% for June, but they have lowered the fuel surcharge to 12% for July. Australia Post has just sent me a statement saying that this is part of passing on the fact that oil prices have been coming down. So are they double dipping? Aren't you getting a bit of relief there?
Well, it still does compound. So you've got the 5% increase on the base rates and then the 12% fuel surcharge on the new higher base rates. I think, most businesses are facing increased cost inputs. But unlike most businesses, Australia Post recoups these automatically through the fuel surcharge. So I'm not sure why the need to pass on a double rate increase. We've got the fuel surcharge and a rate increase. I'd love to see them looking really hard for savings so they can, I suppose, absorb any cost, but I'm not sure what the extra costs really are because fuel's already covered.
So, Wes, I've just gotten a statement from Australia Post. It says, like all logistic businesses, Australia Post continues to face sustained increases in its processing and delivery costs, and these adjustments are necessary to ensure we can continue providing reliable services for our customers. So that is the carrier's justification there. But how are you going to deal with this? Will you inevitably have to pass on higher costs to customers? And are you worried about spooking them in quite a tough economic situation right now?
Yeah, look, I think what we do know is our customers are doing it tough. It's our job to protect them. So we want to be assured as much as we can. I probably just need a bit of time to chat with the team and decide what we're going to do. We will try our very best not to pass this on and keep our prices and continue being able to offer our free shipping above a $99 threshold and so forth. But I suppose there's only so much. So I think at this point, I'm hopeful that we can absorb that, but that comes out of our margin. I would like to see us not passing that on to customers, but probably just need to work through it a little bit before making a final decision.
Well, Wes, I think you're a lot of business owners at the moment deciding how to pass on the high cost of doing business at the moment. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks, Emilia.